Welcome to our YouTube channel. If you are new here, then please subscribe and press the bell icon to get the latest video notification. Hello students, in this series of important questions for board exam for 12th, this is the part 1. We'll discuss 1 mark question in this video and we'll cover from question number 1 to question number 9. Okay, so let's start with our question number 1. Okay, so question 1 is, we have to find the identity element for the binary operation star. There is one binary operation star defined on the set Q. There is one set Q. Okay, and this binary operation is defined on the set Q of rational number y a star b is equal to ab upon 4. Okay, so how we'll solve this question? So I will give you the answer format also. I will write all the answers which you have to write in your exam. Okay, because your exam is written exam, so you have to write the like a statements also. Okay, so I will give you all the detailed solution. Okay, so what you will do, you will take your pen, your notes, and then you will watch this video. Okay, and please make your own notes with question and answer. This will help you in coming board exam. Okay, let E, suppose E, let E be the identity element, because question is asking identity element. So identity elements. Okay, so I assume that E is identity element. If E is identity element on that binary operation star, which is defined as a star b equal to ab upon 4. So if E is identity element, then A star E should be equal to A, because what is the meaning of identity element? If you are performing an operation on any element, this will give the same result, like A star E will be A. Okay, and according to definition, A star E I can write as A star E I can write as A E upon 4. Okay, equal to A both sides, so this can be cancelled. Okay, how I did this? Since AB is equal to A star B is equal to AB upon 4. So in the same way you can write A star E is equal to A. In place of B you will write A upon 4. Okay, so this operation I did. So in this way you got E upon 4 equal to 1. And in this way you will get E by cross multiplication, you will get 1 into 4, that is 4, and that will be your answer. Identity element is 4. Okay, identity element is 4. Okay, so first question is clear. Okay, now we are moving to the second question. Second question is, let a star be the binary operation. A star is a binary operation on natural number n given by A star B. A star B is defined as LCM of A and B. So a star, there is operation LCM. Okay, LCM of A and B. A star B meaning is LCM of A and B. So we have to find 5 star 7. So in the same way like we did the previous question, we have to find 5 a star of 7. And since a star meaning is LCM, so in place of A it is 5, in place of B it is 7. So LCM of 5 and 7. Correct? Simple. So you will find the LCM of 5 and 7. LCM of 5 and 7, if you will find, you know how to find the LCM. Correct? Then 7, 1, 1. Then LCM will be 5 into 7. 5 into 7. That is 35. So LCM of 5 and 7 is 5 into 7. That is 35 will be our answer. Okay. So this is 1 mark question we are discussing. Okay. So second question is clear. We are moving to the third question. and I will do slowly. You have to give time also, if you have to understand. Okay. So now third question, they can ask you few definition also, like they can ask you the definition, define a binary operation. So you have to write the definition. So what you will write? Okay. So a binary operation, you will write the definition as a binary operation, a star. I am taking any binary operation, a star on a set A. Binary operation will be defined on a set A is a function a star that is defined from A cross A to set A. Okay. We denote it as Y A star B. If two elements are there, then we will represent A star B. And if you want to give example just be covered in the previous question. You can give the same example. A star B is equal to LCM of A and B, or A into B equal to 4. Anything you can give. Okay. Any example you can give. LCM of A and B. So our answer is done. Okay, we have to write this much. A binary operation, a star on a set A is a function, a star from A to A cross A to A, be defined by A star B, and you can give one example, be covered in the previous question. Okay. So you will write the definition in the exam, correct? Okay. So we are moving to the fourth one. So this was some binary operation, 3 questions. Now the next 3 or 4 questions will be from relation and function. So first question is define empty relation. If in exam they will ask you define the empty relation, then how you will define? Okay, how you will define? So you will write a relation R in a set A. In a set A is called empty relation. If no element of A is related to any element of A. Correct? There is no relation. Correct? There is no relation. So if relation I am telling a set, so that set will be empty. So that is, you will write that is R is equal to 5. There is no element on the set which is representing the relation. Okay, and you know that R is the relation is the correct. So this much you can write, or you cannot write this also, R equal to 5. If you are writing till here also, that is correct. Okay. Okay. So this is empty relation. A relation R in a set A is called to be empty relation if no element of A is related to any element of A. Correct? Okay. So no element is related. Okay. So this is one. And in this, if they will ask you instead of empty relation, if they are asking universal relation, what is universal relation? They can ask you universal relation. So universal relation, in the same pattern you can understand the universal relation also. What is universal relation? So this I am erasing. Okay. So you will write in the same way. A relation R in a set A is called, here instead of empty I will write universal. Okay, universal relation. If instead of no you will write every. Correct? every element of A is related to each element of A, correct? Instead of no, you will write each, every, correct? So that correct, and R will be equal to A cross A, correct? Because every element of A cross A is the element of R, so both will be equal. Okay, so we covered empty relation and universal relation both, correct? So I hope you can write this question in exam. You have to revise minimum 5 times. You have to revise every question. Okay, now we are moving to the next question, fifth one. Okay, so fifth question is, give an example of a relation. We have to give an example of a relation which is symmetric and transitive but not reflexive. Means that relation should be symmetric, transitive but not reflexive. You know what is reflexive, what is transitive, correct? Okay, so we have to give example. So, and you know relation is defined on a set. Okay, relation will be part of A cross A if A is a set. Okay, relation with the subset of A cross A, correct? Okay, so I am taking any set A. Let A is equal to, I am taking anything 5 6 I am taking. Okay, then we have to define the relation which is symmetric. Symmetric means which is symmetric. Symmetric means if AB is the element of R, then BA should be the element of R, correct? This is the meaning of symmetric. So I will take like this. So I am putting an element. I am putting element 5, 6. So if 5, 6, then 6, 5 should be there. 6, 5 I am putting. Okay, so this is symmetric. This is satisfying the symmetric. Now we have to satisfy the transitive also. What is the meaning of transitive? Transitive means if AB is the element of R and BC is the element of R, then A, this is the common part, A, C should be the element of R. This is the meaning of transitive relation. Okay, so here if you will see 5, 6 is there and 6, 5 is there. So this 6 is common, first, second element, first element. So 5, 5 should be the element of this. Then only I can say this relation as a transitive relation. So what I will do, I will put that element. I will put that element 5, 5. Okay. So now this is symmetric as well as transitive, correct? But we have to keep that not reflexive. Reflexive means, what is the meaning of reflexive? Reflexive means if 5, 6 is the element of A, then 5, 5 should present in this, correct? So 5, 5 is present and 6, 6, these two elements should present in this. So since 5, 5 is present, but I am not putting 6, 6. If I am not putting 6, 6, then it is not reflexive. Okay, so it means I wrote a relation which is symmetric and transitive but not reflexive. Okay, why not reflexive? Not reflexive because 6, 6 is not the element of R. Okay, and rest you can check. Okay, you don't have to write these all things. Okay, just you will write the answer. This is the relation. Okay, so fifth one is clear. In the same pattern there is question number 6 also. Okay, question number 6 I included. In this, give an example of a relation. We have to give example of a relation which is symmetric only. Which is symmetric. We have to put symmetric only. Symmetric only means if symmetric only it is given means it is not transitive. It is not transitive. Okay, not reflexive. Okay, this is not transitive, not reflexive. Okay, meaning is this. So we have to form a relation like that which is symmetric only. So in the same way like previous question, I took a set. So let A is equal to, I am taking this time, I am taking 3 elements this time. Okay, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and R is a relation. R is a relation. Okay, so we have to write the relation R. R is a relation. We have to write symmetric. Symmetric means if I am putting 5, 6. Okay, or you can take 2 elements also. Okay, there is no issue. Okay, so 5, 6 is the element. Then symmetric means if A, B is the element of R, then B, A will be the element of R. So 5, 6 is there, then 6, 5 should be there. Okay, now this is symmetric and we have to keep symmetric only. So I will keep only these 2 elements. Correct. So this is symmetric. Clearly I explained. Okay, if you want to check that how it is not like reflexive, so not reflexive. Why not reflexive? What is the reason? Reflexive means all, if 5, 6, 7 is the element, then 5, 5 should present in this, but 5, 5 is not there. 6, 6 should present in this, 6, 6 is not there. 7, 7 should present, but it is not there in relation. It is not there means it is not in relation. So it is not reflexive. And why it is not transitive? Clearly you can check these all things. If you are not writing also, then your answer is done. Okay, but for understanding purpose we are checking here. Okay, because we are doing the solution, so we have to understand. So not transitive. Transitive means if 5, 6 is the element present in R, and second element first 6 and 6, 5 is present in R, so 5, 5 should present in R. Okay, but if you will see 5, 5 is not present in the relation, so it is not transitive. Okay, so this is the relation which is symmetric but not reflexive, not transitive. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Now we are moving to the next question. Next question is question number 7. So previous 3 questions was from function and relation. Now this question is from inverse trigonometric. Okay, so I have included only those portion which is retained. The deleted portion I have not included. Okay, so find the principal value of cos inverse 1 upon 2. In this question we have to find the principal value of cos inverse 1 upon 2. So principal value, so how we are finding the principal value? So here cos inverse 1 upon 2 I will take as y. Correct, I am taking as y. You can do directly also, but I am doing step by step so that you will understand easily. So cos inverse 1 upon 2, if I am taking y, then I can say that cos y is equal to, there will be minus 1 upon 2. Okay, in question minus 1 upon 2, cos inverse minus 1 upon 2. We have to find the principal value of cos inverse minus 1 upon 2. Okay, so question typed wrongly. Okay, minus 1 upon 2. Okay, so we have to find the principal value of cos inverse minus 1 upon 2. So if cos inverse minus 1 upon 2 is y, then cos y is equal to minus 1 upon 2. Okay, and minus 1 upon 2 is the value of 1 upon 2 is the value of pi upon 3, cos pi upon 3. So minus 1 upon 2 will be value of cos pi minus pi upon 3. Pi minus pi upon 3. In second quadrant cos is negative, so pi minus pi upon 3. And in this way I can say that cos y is equal to cos pi minus pi upon 3. If you will calculate 3 pi minus pi, that will be 2 pi upon 3. Correct? So 2 pi upon 3. So this we got. But we will not say that 2 pi upon 3 is principal value or not. We will check first. Okay. So we know that, what we know? That principal value of cos inverse lies between 0 to pi. We know that principal value of principal value of cos inverse, this is concept, okay? Cos inverse lies between 0 to pi. I will discuss in short after this question what is this, okay? So obviously this 2 pi upon 3 is less than pi and greater than 0, means it is lying between 0 to pi. So y will be 2 pi upon 3, correct? And y is nothing but cos inverse 1 upon 2, okay? So we can say that principal value of cos inverse 1 upon 2 is nothing but 2 pi upon 3. You will write in final answer that principal value of cos inverse 1 upon 2 is nothing but 2 pi upon 3. So you will write last line, principal value of cos inverse 1 upon 2 is equal to 2 pi upon 3, and that will be your answer. Okay, so I hope you understood. Okay, what is the concept here? Okay, there is one concept like I will discuss here. Okay, then I will come to question number 8. Okay, concept is cos inverse principal value will lie, cos inverse x you can say, the principal value will lie between 0 to pi. Okay, this you have to remember. And similarly sin inverse x principal value will lie between minus pi upon 2 to pi upon 2. Okay, so this you have to remember. Okay, means whatever the principal value you are calculating for cos inverse, that should be between 0 to pi, and for sin inverse it should be from minus pi upon 2 to pi upon 2. Okay, that we'll see in this question. Okay, so on that basis we solve this question. So I hope you understood. Just write down these steps, try to understand. If you have any question, then you can ask in the comment box. I will try to clarify that. Okay, now we'll come to this question. So I already explained you the concept. So question is, we have to find the principal value of sin inverse minus 1 upon root 2. So in the same way like we did in the last question, question number 7, let sin inverse 1 upon 2, I am assuming that y, correct? Or if sin inverse 1 upon root 2, 1 upon root 2 is y, then I can say that sin y is equal to 1 upon root 2. This is the inverse concept. Sin y will come here, then sin inverse will be sin y and 1 upon root 2. And 1 upon root 2 we know what is the value? Sin 45 degree, correct? Minus 1 upon root 2, sorry. This is minus 1 upon root 2. So minus 1 upon root 2. So sin of minus 1 upon root 2. 1 upon root 2 value we know 45, that is pi upon 4. Sin pi upon 4 is 1 upon root 2. If I will do minus pi upon 4, then minus 1 upon root 2, because sin minus theta we know minus sin theta, correct? So sin minus pi upon 4 will give minus sin pi upon 4, because sin minus theta is minus sin theta, and minus and sin pi upon 4 value is 1 upon root 2. So sin minus pi upon 4 is nothing but minus 1 upon root 2. So this is clear. Okay, so from here y is equal to minus pi upon 4, I can say, correct? Just we have to y, and I am saying pi, y is equal to minus pi upon 4, since principal value is lying between minus pi upon 2 to pi upon 2. We know this. You will write, we know that principal value of sin inverse lies between, you will write this line, we know that, or if you want you can write one more line, sin y is equal to sin minus pi upon 4. Okay, so we know that principal value of sin inverse lies between minus pi upon 2 to pi upon 2. So principal value of sin inverse minus 1 upon 2 minus 1 upon root 2 is equal to minus pi upon 4, since minus pi upon 4 is lies between minus pi upon 2 to pi upon 2. Minus 90 to 90 and minus 45 will be lie between minus 90 and plus 90, correct? So this is clear. So in this way you can solve this question. Okay, so I hope you are understanding. Now the last question for this video, that is question number 9. Question number 9 is find the value of tan inverse root 3 and minus sec inverse minus 2. Okay, so this is very easy question, just you have to put the values. Okay, so how will find tan inverse root 3 minus sec inverse minus 2, this value we have to find. Okay, so tan inverse and root 3 is the value of tan pi upon 3, tan 60 degree, correct? So tan pi upon 3, so instead of root 3 I will write tan pi upon 3, correct? And minus sec inverse, what is the value of minus 2? So minus 2, you know that sec 60 degree is 2, because sec is opposite of cos, and cos 60 is 1 upon 2. So sec 60 will be simple. If you don't know, then you can write sec is 1 upon cos, so 1 upon pi upon 3, and 1 upon sec pi upon 3 is 1 upon 2, so it will be 2. Ultimately you will get sec pi upon 3 is 2. So I am writing directly. Okay, now we have to find minus 2. So minus 2 means sec value in second quadrant will be my negative. Okay, so what I will do, sec pi minus pi upon 3 will be obviously sec pi minus pi upon 3 will be minus sec pi upon 3, and minus sec pi upon 3 means minus sec pi upon 3 value is 2. So I can say that this is nothing but sec, and pi minus pi upon 3 will be 2 pi upon 3, correct? So I can say that sec 2 pi upon 3, because pi minus pi upon 3 is 2 pi upon 3 is minus 2. Okay, so instead of minus 2 here I will write sec 2 pi upon 3, sec 2 pi upon 3. Okay, 2 pi upon 3, correct? Okay, so we reach till here. Now you can use the concept directly, that will be easy. Okay, what is the concept? Tan inverse tan theta. If tan inverse tan theta, then I can write directly theta. Tan inverse tan theta, I can write directly theta. Tan inverse tan will go and you can write directly theta. Okay, so I will write here tan inverse tan pi upon 3. So only this value will be there, only this value. Okay, whatever the angle is there, pi upon 3. So I will write pi upon 3. Similarly, sec inverse sec 2 pi upon 3, sec inverse sec will go, only 2 pi upon 3 I will write, only 2 pi upon 3 I will write. So only 2 pi upon 3. So it means pi upon 3 minus 2 pi upon 3. And now you will calculate 3 is LCM, pi minus 2 pi. So pi minus 2 pi is nothing but minus pi divided by 3. This will be our answer. Okay, so I hope you understood. Okay, in case of any confusion you can ask in the comment box. Okay.